Smudglyn Winterwash. The air was still, thick with the scent of pine and cold stone. In the heart of the mountain, far from any road or footpath, lay a small cave. Inside, a young girl sat alone, her eyes closed in meditation. Her name was Smudglyn Winterwash, and she had been here for what felt like an eternity. The chill of the rock seeping into her bones, a constant companion to her solitude. A sound then, note of wind or stone, a chime, clear and pure, like a single drop of water falling into a still pool. It came from nowhere and everywhere at once, a note so pure it felt like it was tuning the very air around it. It was a signal, but not one she recognized. Note from this world. Her eyes opened. The sound, that single note, hung in the air. A question, a call. For a long moment, Smudglyn Winterwash did nothing. She simply listened. Then, slowly, she raised a hand, pale and slim, and she brought it down onto a flat, cold stone beside her. Tap. A single, deliberate answer. A decision made. Another chime answered dead tap, softer this time. A question mark. She tapped again, twice. A pause, then 3 notes came, a little melody. It was clumsy, hesitant, like 2 people who did not speak the same language, trying to find a common word. They were speaking now, in clicks and tones and silences, building a fragile bridge of sound between them. She told it of the cold stone and the taste of snow. It sang back to her of warmth and light, and a place where colours were brighter. They were 2 different solitudes, Smudglyn and the voice from beyond, and with every exchange, the trust grew. They began to rely on the other's next response, the next note in the sequence. It was no longer about the message, but the fact it was shared. Then, the voice from beyond changed its tone. The notes became urgent, faster. It showed her things. Not with words, but with feelings. A great, yawning darkness. A cold that was deeper than any winter. A loneliness that was eternal. It was not a place, but a state. And it was coming. The connection they shared, it was the only thing that wasn't. The stakes were not just connection, but survival. They tried to continue. She tapped out a message of defiance, of warmth, but the melody from the other side grew faint, distorted, as if a great wind was blowing between them, scattering the notes before they could be fully formed. A barrier, not of malice, but of nature. Physics, reality, the very laws that held their worlds apart were now actively pulling them back, severing the bridge they'd built. She understood then. The voice from beyond was not the source. It was a conduit, like she was. The true source was the connection itself. To maintain it, to let the other know it was still there, required energy. She felt a coldness in her chest, a familiar emptiness. It was the cold of the cave, the chill of her solitude, the very essence of her isolation given form. She took that feeling, and she offered it. She pushed it outwards, towards the sound. She gave a solitude to the connection, to keep it alive. For a moment, there was nothing but the silence. Then, a warmth. A single, perfect note, clear as glass, rang through her. It was not just sound. It was the warmth of a hand she'd never held. It was the scent of a flower from a world she'd never seen. It was the complete and total understanding of a single shared thought. It was over in a second, but it had happened. The silence returned, but it was a different silence. The cave was the same, the cold was the same, but Smudglyn Winterwash was not. The connection had been severed completely now, but the memory of it, the ghost of that otherworld song, was etched into her. Her solitude was no longer empty. It was a vessel, holding the echo of what had been. She was alone, but she was no longer lonely. She sat for a long time. The cave was no longer a prison, but a place. The rock was just rock. The cold was just cold. But the memory of the other place, the other voice, was a part of her now. Her isolation was not broken, but it was changed. It had been, for a moment, a shared thing. And now the solitude was a choice, not a sentence. The echo of the connection was the only thing that remained, and it was enough.